Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The not the return of Iceman 1, but the return of roasting the Iceman series. So for people who are new or people who forgot, Iceman was a series that started about a year ago. It was absolutely terrible, and but a lot of fun to roast. So the background is Iceman is a I would call him like a B-list superhero. He was in the original lineup of the X-Men. He's been on lots of different teams. I would call him a fan favorite. Not the top, but people like him. He had a well-established personality. He was kind of a goofy bachelor. And he was straight. He dated lots of women. He was in love. And then suddenly, magically, he was gay. And not just gay, but flamingly gay. So he did not just change his sexuality, but his entire personality. And what personality did he get? Well, he got the personality of Sina Grace. Sina Grace he's been in comics for a while. I believe he was an editor for Walking Dead for a couple of years. I always wonder how much money he gets from that. I think the editor just gets a flat fee. I don't think editors get like percentage of profits and stuff like that. But anyway, very, very frustrating guy. Seems like a nice guy. Seems actually a really nice guy. But he's self-centered, which he will admit. He wrote a book called, what was it called? Selfie Obsessed or something like that. I can't tell if it's a persona or that's his real personality. But he's very campy. He's very over the top. Me and other people always say he seems like a 1990s sitcom character, not an actual person. Maybe it's real personality. I don't know. But the problem is that he actually has talent. He's actually a good writer, but he's also makes some really bad decisions, and no one checks him on it. Think because they're worried about being accused of being homophobic. These are odd times, kind of dark times, difficult times. The weapon that everyone is terrified of is being called bigot, homophobe, racist, this phobe, this, that. So people don't tell you when you got a booger in your nose. Even if it's whistling, they will not tell you. And then they never really handled the elephant in the room. Now they talked about aspects of, oh, this is my first relationship. I'm coming out to my friends. I'm coming out to my family. But they never talked about the elephant room. Why does Bobby Drake have a completely different personality than he used to have from the 60s till like a year ago? And not only was he not the same person, but he wasn't heroic. He was very self-centered. He was definitely a sociopath. He might have actually been a psychopath. You have to go watch the videos, but no pun intended, he is ice cold. He would disrespect his loving parents in public. His boyfriend got stabbed by Dakin, was in the hospital, and then was basically like, hey, I'm just like a regular guy from West Hollywood. I got a nope out of this relationship. And Bobby was like, well, if you can't support me, then I don't need you. It's like, bro, he literally almost died for you. And he says, I need to go back to my normal life of not being almost murdered by Wolverine's son. By the way, when I used to do the videos, I used to do a campy gay voice, which is kind of my interpretation of this character. Now, Joe Quesada was, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Joe Quesada spent like 3 days basically trying to get my attention. And one thing he kept bringing up is he says, you do something in a stupid voice when you want it to sound stupid. Well, anything sounds stupid if you read it in a stupid voice. So I was like, all right, so I'll do, let's say, a much less campier, more normal voice when I do Iceman. So we start off right here, and so it was canceled for very, very low sales around issue 9. And then all these people who never talked about it, never tweeted about it, never reviewed it, the websites and even the New York Times did a major article on its cancellation. Nobody talked about it till it was canceled, and then it was just the most amazing thing. And they didn't describe anything except for Iceman being gay. They obviously had not read any of the stories. They didn't know that he was a sociopath who told his boyfriend, look, if you can't support me from your deathbed, then I don't need you. Sorry, it's hard not to do that voice when I'm doing the Sina Grace version of Iceman. So it's like so they brought it back. Now they say it did well in the book market, but nobody can show us these figures. What it did good was in the library market. Librarians tend to be very liberal. If you go, especially to a kids section, if you take your kids there, if you don't have kids, why are you in the kids section? When you go, like, if you think any part of the world is politically correct, you have not lived until you've seen the kids section at a bookstore or a school. Well, obviously it's all a kids section at school, but at a library, like 97% of the books are about Martin Luther King or Sojourner Truth or Harriet Tubman. Like, it's all like very, very politically correct. So of course, when you put in the catalog that librarians use to order books, when you say Iceman, the gay suit, order it. Just order it. So that's what they're getting. So we start off here, and we're in Hell's Kitchen, my old neighborhood. And he says something that is true, that it's basically, it used to be a high crime area, and now it's the gay hangout. And that is absolutely true. Hell's Kitchen is so gay that things that aren't gay are gay. By that I mean, you'd have the gay bar and the gay restaurant and the gay club, but then you'd have the Dunkin' Donuts, and the club and the restaurant and everything would fill up. So then everyone would just, the people from out of town and in other neighborhoods, they would just take over the Dunkin' Donuts, and it became a gay Dunkin' Donuts. I actually saw this one really funny, awkward thing. It was this woman. She was from the Middle East. She was wearing hijab. You could tell she just got to America. And she was talking to a regular, and he brought his boyfriend in. She's like, how are you doing? This your brother? And he was like, no, this is not my brother. So he goes there. He's talking about Hell's Kitchen, high crime. Now it's the gay hangout. And then I guess they're doing, I don't even know what this is. This is not the kind of death drop I signed up for. I think Yellow Flash said this was a drag queen show. It's not very well set up. We're on the sidewalk, and suddenly we're inside with the stage, but we can't see the venue. It's just, okay, whatever. And then Bobby Drake goes in there. So, so Bobby Drake, boom. Now it's where lonely gay guys go to strike out to feel sad boy vibes. Okay, we get it. You're gay and you're going to the gay neighborhoods for the gays. So then he rescues a drag queen. But that's actually, when I say a gay neighborhood, if you're not from New York, like I used to be, you probably don't understand it. TV has kind of, what do we call it, propagandized or brainwashed you to think it's all like guys and assless chaps. It literally is just regular dressing people. Like I said, all my neighbors were gay. They all just looked like regular dads, just more fit. It was kind of a pricey neighborhood. Well, not that pricey for Manhattan, but pricey for the rest of the country. So then it's like, hey, I'm a gay. Oh, drag queens. And then he goes, let me ask you a question. I forgot. I'm not going to do this voice. So I'm out here trying to meet guys. And I'm a catch. I hate when people say that, but like I'm cute. And I'm smart enough to know that this guy has about 4 minutes before he dies of hypothermia. When I was dating girls, it wasn't so hard. Now, I'm not really translating. Oh, and the homophobe says, eat shit, fairies. Okay, we saw fairies in Pride, and we saw This is nostalgia. You're missing the days of 1980s homophobia. Like, why doesn't somebody just say light in his loafers or some other, phrase for gay people that nobody's used in 30 freaking years? So then he says, they show him in the club, and I guess this is supposed to be funny. He made a glass slipper out of ice, and he says, I said I believed you dropped this on the dance floor. So the elephant in the room is that, not that Bobby's gay, because that's mentioned on every single page, is that he's a unfunny, self-absorbed asshole who nobody likes and no one could ever respect, which is a huge problem because the story itself is not only just fine, but actually quite good. By the story, I mean the plot. So again, this woman was almost died in a fire, but he expects her to emotionally validate him and help him with his dating woes. The dating woes are that he's an asshole and nobody would like him. Like, it's not funny. It's not fun. So then he finds a note. Someone's looking for the Morlocks. And we get in there, and Bobby's a teacher. But of course, since Bobby doesn't care about anything, he is a lazy teacher who is doing yoga or something. And Kitty even has to say, I thought you were monitoring this. He's like, oh, my snow golems will do that. It's like, that's great. So at the end, Sina Grace admits that the last time they tried to play it off like they had finished the story. And then he admits, yeah, we were canceled. Now, back then he says, oh, I wrapped up the story. It was the story I wanted to tell. Now, the story that should be being told in this 5-issue miniseries, by the way, Marvel never tells you things they're miniseries anymore, is that Bobby should have realized that he's an asshole, that he's completely immature and that nobody respects him. He's very, very lazy and he gets people, puts people in danger with his laziness. But it's all just presented as he's delightful. His snow golems will do the teaching for him while he meditates. And then we're going to go look for the Morlocks. And then the ice monster wins. And then he says, that's what you get for telling me Judah has a new boyfriend and for following him on social media. Oh, that's social media, huh? Oh. Judah was your first hookup. You then wanted to move across the country for him. He then came to visit you in New York. He then was almost murdered. He said he needed to take some space to heal. And you said, if you can't emotionally be there for me, I don't need you in my life. You're a sociopath, possibly a psychopath. Why do you care that Judah's moved on? We're all glad he has, because you're dangerous. So then we get, I get it, it's the black guy, and he's man spread, and there's his crotch. But here's where something amazing happens. Because usually when someone's a bad writer, everyone's written poorly. But we've just seen that Kitty was written in character and as a responsible adult. And then we saw here that Bishop is here, actually looking cool. They've been drawing him all skinny. He's supposed to be like huge. He's supposed to be a beast. He's basically Worf from Star Trek. And when people saw him on the cover, they're like, oh God, are they going to say he's gay too? No, it's none of that. In fact, they really put out that he's like a serious hero. He's a soldier. He takes orders. He gives orders. He's all about the mission. And Bobby's just an asshole. He's an idiot. So they're going, and I guess they're trying to do it to say it's like an awkward pairing. By the way, Bishop looks freaking cool here. So Bobby's like, so how you been? And Bishop says, teamed up with some of the other X-Men, fought the Shadow King. I hate that guy. Reminded me why I'm constantly failing at future disasters. So Bishop, in addition to being a good hero, a soldier, a leader, someone who's fundamentally serious and takes this seriously. And then Bobby's like, telepaths, don't even get me started. Me, I semi-led an X team while the ladies were in non-exploitation movie prison. Being the leader isn't all that much fun. Okay, so we want to see a serious person who you actually respect, and then his problem with being a leader or semi-leader is that it wasn't fun. Then he's inexplicably in charge of this. Hey, are you okay taking direction from me? And he doesn't answer, he just leaves him hanging. So they start to find the case, and it's actually kind of interesting. What you have is mutants killing other mutants. They're basically killing the uglier, weirder ones so they can fit in better with humanity. That's actually a really interesting story. Kind of surprised that hasn't been done, but I can't pop it into my head any times that story has been done. So we get the vaguely ethnic, possibly female woman with the side of her head shaved. Fine. Okay, that's fine. It's actually a good character. So then we get this fight, and the fight's pretty cool. It's a serious fight. I mean, it's literally a mutant massacre. They're trying to kill the Morlocks. And, but Bobby's just an idiot. And he just babbles, and it's not funny. Like, you can't respect this guy. So yeah, so just stupid jokes about ABBA, because all gay guys are camping and he's gonna talk about ABBA. So then this, I think it's supposed to be like a non-binary person, so it's kind of explaining why they want to be here in the caves instead of being out in humanity and being the Savior School. And then we get good plot. This plot is good. Bishop's being a badass. He's like, he's like, I'm taking this girl home. None of y'all can stop me. I was like, all right, cool. And then Bobby comes up here and he's giving these stupid speeches that are just about bragging himself. So the guy says, don't you understand, X-Men? The only way we will effectively bridge the gap between humans and mutants is by being and looking more alike. This cleanse is for the future of Homo superior mutants. And then Bobby says, ew, what? No. Why would I ever vibe with that? My thing is making jokes in a dark and dreary world. How is that on brand with genocide? Okay, that's actually not what genocide means. If you're killing part of it, genocide means killing all of something, like killing all the Jews or killing all of any kind of group. Okay, we're not even getting that's not the correct word. Are you taking this serious or not? He just said he wants to kill a bunch of people. The response is not ew. So then, what's her name says, enough, they want to massacre. Let's give them one. Pretty cool line, which is immediately ruined by ICEMAN, who says, sorry to clobber you. It's stupid. So then we get in this kind of cool fight. Everyone's taking it serious except for ICEMAN, who's a complete clown. And then it just ends. Okay. So he captures one of the bad guys. Give me a Spider-Man kiss. I was like, F you. As if I'm saving myself for Captain America. So then this is what I love. Bishop is obviously getting sick of him. You done yet? That's our last one. Yep, I hate these clowns. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you hate them. You're just, so then Bishop is talking like a person, like a soldier. None of them have intel on Madden's brother. Sounds like a case for the hottest new team on the streets. Ice Shop. Needs work. I can hear it too. You just need to shut up. It's perfectly fine to do a funny hero who likes to take the piss out of people. In Jawbreakers, Cuffs, some people said, isn't it weird? Cuffs is kind of a clown. Cuffs purposefully acts like a clown. He's doing a shtick. He's playing a persona. He basically feels, kind of like this, that superhero teams are too serious, that they're about, saving people and inspiring them. So he's like, I like to be a little arch. I like to be a little over the top. I mean, he doesn't say that outright, but that's my background for him. But I try to make jokes that are funny. Sina thinks it's hilarious that, all his jokes are terrible and he's obsessed with himself. Isn't that funny? It's like, maybe for a background character, maybe if this was a Bishop story and there was this, ineffectual, self-impressed idiot, that's a good counterbalance to Bishop, who's very effectual, very serious, very well respected. That's a good contrast. The problem is you've got a sidekick as the lead. And that's something that if they were making a goal for him to be more respectable, more serious, more focused, that would be fine. But there's no hint it's going in that direction. I will say one thing. He didn't have his first gay anything in this one. So it seemed like, just like Ta-Nehisi Coates came back with a rebooted Black Panther that was more focused on action. This one was a lot more focused on action and having a real story, not just for, first, gay date, first gay kiss, first gay meeting the friends. Like this one was just like a good adventure kind of ruined by a terrible idiot. So I can't show all of it, so I don't get a copyright strike. But frustrating to say the least. There's like I bring this up, the selfishness of SJWs. It's fine to write a story for yourself. You're writing the story. Obviously, you should be interested in it. But you need to write it for other people. You need to step out. And if this is your real personality, Sina, you have to remember that you're a micro percentage of the personality, that generally people like their heroes to be respectable and serious, someone you can admire. Nobody can admire this character. He's the exact opposite. He was a clown that you don't respect. You got 4 more issues. I'm sure they've already been written, but it would behoove you to have Bobby go through some growth. Not about, we've seen his first gay everything. Well, we haven't seen it, thank God, but we've heard about it. Do something with his character. Leave a mark. You don't just want to be the guy who got a book canceled or uncanceled because of a New York Times and political correctness and, ordering it for the trade for libraries. Like, have some respect for the character and yourself and the medium. Do something with this character. You got a second chance that most people do not get. So anyway, thanks for watching. Wow, I just blanked on all my stuff. I got a text pops up and I got very confused. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Thanks to everyone giving to the Patreon and the Indiegogo. You're funding original content. And I'll have another new comic review up later today. Thanks. Bye.